Welcome to Insights Hub. So today we are going to talk about concept of NFO and IPO. So what's the difference between NFO and IPO? So when we talk about NFO, so it's a launch of a new mutual fund scheme by an asset management company, and it is the first time subscription to mutual funds. So we always buy mutual funds from, when we are starting our SIPs, right, or doing a lump sum uh, investment in mutual funds. But NFO is like the first time when the mutual fund is kind of floated. So generally the units are allotted at face value of 10 rupees, and after the offer period units are priced at the NAV. So once the offer is over, now depending upon the subscription, the unit prices are becomes the market price, which is nothing but the NAV of the mutual fund. And the funds are collected to invest in a portfolio of security. Obviously mutual funds collects the money to invest in portfolio of securities, which can be either equity or debt, based on the scheme objective. So, and the risk depends upon the asset allocation and fund strategy. So essentially, um, the risk of investing in NFO depend upon the asset allocation. So if the fund is investing more in equity, then probably the risk is higher, and if the fund is investing more in debt, then it is probably having a lesser risk. And returns from the NFO or the mutual fund depends upon the market performance. Now, coming quickly to the IPO. Now, since NFO is, as I said, the first time launch of a mutual fund scheme, and that is when the asset management comes up with the NFO. IPO is when, as we all know, an unlisted company offers its shares to the public. So investors apply for these shares, and they take the ownership of the company. Now, when the IPO comes out, it comes out at the fixed price per share, or there can be a price band also. Let's say by from 750 to 800. So people who are applying for the IPO, they can quote any price in that range, and the quantity depending upon the lot size. And after listing, obviously again the price which the shares gets traded is the market price at which it gets listed, and thereafter depending upon the market movements, the price gets determined. Now, funds raised which are in IPO are generally for growth of the company, expansion of the capacity, or maybe a debt repayment, or acquisition or research, depending upon what is mentioned in the prospectus. Risk of investing in IPO depends upon the company's fundamentals, the company which is bringing the IPO, the fundamentals of that company, and the returns depend upon the share price movement and also the listing gains. Now, if you're investing in IPO, there can be listing gains. Let's say an IPO, some of the IPOs get oversubscribed, and when they kind of open up the market on the first listing day, they get listed at a premium, and so that's what is the listing gain. Now, coming to NFO and IPO, some of the basic criteria which we discussed. So NFO is issued by the asset management company. IPO is issued by, obviously, brought up by an unlisted company which wants to become listed. NFO generally price is fixed, which is the face value, and IPO the price can be a range or a fixed price, and that may vary from IPO to IPO. Purpose of funds raising through NFO is essentially investment in securities, and IPO can be business growth, debt repayment, etc. Risk, obviously, when we're investing in an NFO, which is a mutual fund, because the mutual fund invests in a lot of securities, the risk is lower than stocks. And again, depends on allocation, the equity debt ratio, and in the IPO case of IPO, obviously it is higher than mutual funds because you're investing in only one company. Returns from NFO is obviously market linked NAV, and it is NAV based. And if the NAV of the mutual fund unit goes up after you invest, then you are, you get more returns. If it goes down, obviously you get into a loss position, but again it recovers. And in an IPO, again, it's also market linked, and depending upon the market optimism about the company and the share, the price may go up or go down. Yeah. So that's all about the two concepts of NFO and IPO and the differences between them. So that's all for from Insights Hub for today. And keep on sharing, liking, and commenting, and subscribe for more such insights. Thank you.